All right, so now we're going to get into the policy and decisions and direction piece of things. So the command and control structure. So, our command structure is for the communications. Our focus is the communications and the tasks that we have from a primary perspective and the logistics and the backup perspective for the ambulance medical requests. And we're here to support the decision making by the command staff at the BAA and public safety. We don't make the decisions on our own. They're the ones that make the decisions. And as I said, I think it makes our job a lot easier. We're there to facilitate that the decisions get carried out. We don't have to make them. We just do what we're told. And believe it or not, that's very important to make sure their decisions get carried out. So our decision making is focused on our own communications, nothing else. So again, it makes our job pretty simplistic. We use the Net Control Operations Center as the point of origin for decisions and directives from the BAA to the field. The net control is the relay point. Again, the net control is just controlling flow of radio operations on the frequency to make sure it's efficient. And sometimes that efficiency is letting some direct station-to-station contact happen without them being there, but making sure that there's order on the frequency so that messages can get through in an efficient way. And we have a level of flexibility associated with that Mark alluded to. But when needed, if things, something goes wrong, I loved, as Blair said, holy moly. If holy moly happens, then we have, then we close things down from a net perspective. So this is the chain of command. You have the BAA race and assistant race director and the medical director, and then the segment coordinators, who we were all introduced to earlier this morning, and then the different segment captains, down to the communications team leader, just simply the operators in the field. And the CTL has been a term we've tossed around the last couple of years. When we have multiple hams, sometimes we have someone that's kind of more of the leader within the tent. Other times it's just kind of the hams in the various areas doing their communications as they see fit. ICS is used across the entire event and then includes amateur radio. That's why I'm at the MAC, because I'm in the branch in the EMS room to provide whatever situational awareness is needed and help with any sort of items from a backup ambulance request perspective. And the public safety, as always, has the highest authority. And that's where if there's something from a public safety perspective that supersedes what's going on, you want to let the net control know, but that is the number one authority throughout this event. So the golden rules. So there can be exigent circumstances which trump all. Protect yourself and others from immediate loss of life or exigent decisions. You try to make those as best as you can. These are very rare, and generally are permitted. You only need to make those if there's no other authority there, and there should pretty much always be authority, even in those extreme circumstances. But if not, you just make the best decisions to protect life. Marathon event operations belong to the BAA. So again, we're here to facilitate their decision making. We're not here to make decisions for the BAA. We've said this the last couple of years, so I think, again, our role is that communications link to allow them to make their decisions and get those decisions and that communication out there. The amateur radio infrastructure belongs to us. So decisions concerning the amateur radio technology, where the event ops aren't impacted, that's what we're in control of. We have our command staff, our segment coordinators, the net controls located at or in a communication with a control point. The communications team leaders are just the amateurs in the field, at the different tents, the buses, etc., the water stations or hydration stations, all those locations. That's what we're really in control of, and that is the network that's facilitating the communication of the decisions from the BAA and public safety where needed. We decide within the scope of our role, again, the decision making is all done by the leaders that are on site. If there's a break in command chain that occurs, you want to lean upon your leader for your area from a communications perspective, and then the leaders from a BAA point of view if something to that unplanned occurs. And if there isn't anybody found, you just try to get to the next person where possible, which, again, I haven't seen that really happen, especially within the last few years. Knowledge sharing and situational awareness. Strict listening watch, so important. When you have, we need you there for that call, even if it is just the comm check. So we know that you're there, and there are not, there's nothing going wrong or nothing wrong with the communications link and so forth. We want you to maintain your situational awareness, sufficient to the assignment. Situational awareness is very important. It's one of the biggest roles I think we play, in many areas, both in public service events and outside of that. It'll assist both our standing and what's going on for our own communications and our own networking, but also for the BAA and the public safety agencies that are out there. No aid station or amateur radio operator will close their area without the direction of a BAA official. If you're requested to perform tasks outside of communications, that should come from somebody within the BAA or within the Red Cross. If it's something where it doesn't impact your main mission of communications, use your judgment. That's fine to do. If it's going to impact your communications link, that is something we try not to have happen. But again, if that person is the person that's in authority, you do the best you can to maintain that watch, do what they're told, and let us know what's going on. And that brings us to the end of decisions and direction. And Brett gave me the 0 just as I switched the slide. So I guess I hit the time window just under the wire. So with that, we'll turn it back over. I believe next up is the start segment. So we'll turn it, and Brett is running over to me, so I'm going to stop for a second. Okay, I'm fine. So I'm going to pass it to you then, I guess, Brett. Thanks.
So I think we'll take,